What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Kuzco on the ones and twos, doing it big, never small, and grab your notepad because we're about to do a deep dive of how to play Mai at a high level. On the surface, Mai has every tool needed to be a competitive character. Her fireball has the ability to control the pace of the match that's complemented with her uppercut, influencing her opponent's movement. Add on the fact she has decent range on some attacks, good mobility, and setups with her charged fan toss, Mai is a potent character that can play defensively and offensively depending on the matchup. This guide will break down how to utilize all of Mai's tools to optimize the character. After the making of this video, I reached Grandmaster with Mai and aim to help you reach your goals with this character from what I learned. Starting off, we're going to talk about Mai's basic attacks, in which this is going to include her normal attacks, her unique attacks, as well as her throws. We're going to start off by looking at her stand jab. Her stand jab is pretty good. It comes out at 4 frames and it's +5 on hit. It being +5 on hit means this works really well in a counter hit situation, as it granted 2 additional plus frames when the attack lands. So that would instead be +7 on a hit if it is a counter hit. And what this means is that you're able to combo into her crouch medium kick much like Chun-Li. This button has great utility as an approach, because if your opponent tries to come towards you and uses a slow button, they can get counter hit, and you're able to actually confirm once you see the counter hit to go into a crouching medium kick for the combo. So it's definitely confirmable. You can see on the left hand side of the screen that once it says counter hit, you're able to go into the crouch medium kick that otherwise would not have been possible if you were on regular hit, as that won't combo. Moving along to her crouch jab, it actually operates differently than her stand jab. So as we saw earlier, her stand jab on regular hit is +5, but her crouching jab, it still comes out at 4 frames, but it is 4 frames now on hit instead of 5 frames. Please take into consideration, unlike stand jab in which you're able to combo into crouch medium kick after a counter hit, you cannot do the same if you do a crouching jab that is a counter hit, because now you're only +6 as opposed to +7. So you could be thinking, well, if that's the case, I can just do stand jab for majority of the time instead of crouching jab, as it will have a higher reward. But do note that the crouching jab does have further range than stand jab. So I'm gonna get like right here with Ryu, I'm doing stand jab, but if I do crouch jab, I guarantee you it's gonna hit him. Yeah. So crouch jab does have a little bit more range, but note that it is not as plus as stand jab. So do keep that in mind whenever you're doing approach with your jab attacks. I will say that her crouch jab is actually confirmable into her crouch medium punch, as her crouch medium punch is 6 frames. So you can do that and it will combo, but you do have to keep in the back of your mind that if you are around max distance, this move would whiff. So I'm gonna stand maybe like right here, and that it doesn't combo like that because you're gonna whiff and you're gonna be open for a whiff punishment. As opposed to her stand jab, if you do it really far like this, you can still go into crouch medium kick regardless of the range. So I would highly recommend that definitely work on confirming stand jab, counter hit, into crouch medium kick to get a combo like this, as it is way more consistent than a crouch jab, counter hit confirm. Stand jab is -2 on block and crouch jab is -1 on block. Feel free to chain these for a block string. Moving on to Mai's light kick attacks, we're going to be doing her stand light kick. This comes out at 4 frames, it is +1 on hit, and on block it is -1. Her standing light kick isn't the best button to throw out in the neutral, as the range is very, very poor. Yeah, I'm standing right here and the stand light kick won't hit. I do stand jab, the stand jab hits, and reminder, the stand jab has worse range than her crouch jab. So the stand light kick is a target combo, which we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But it is going to be difficult for Mai to deal with characters like Ken with Jinrai kicks and then Bison with scissor kicks, as she doesn't have a proper 5-frame attack like say Ken or Cammy. They could do their standing light kick and it goes relatively good range and it's 5 frames, so it's able to punish some of these pesky attacks that some of these other characters deal with. So Mai will be struggling a little bit when it comes to punishing specific attacks. Her crouching light kick is as standard gets. it is +2 on hit, and on block it is -2. Doing a crouch light kick in Street Fighter 6 is good because you have to block it low. As you can see in the attack type right above my head, it says low, so it means that the opponent has to be crouching down back for it to actually defend against the attack. So if I do block right here, you see that Ryu is going to crouch block as opposed to me doing a crouch jab. He can block whether it be standing or crouching. So if I do like the jab, it says high above her head. Her stand light kick comes out at 5 frames, and it's good to mix in like crouching strings. So say for it to do like crouch jab, crouch light kick, crouch jab, just because there is a frame difference there, just in case that they try to mash or try to do something, they get clipped by the crouch light kick. So it's good to mix it up instead of just doing jab, jab, jab. It's good to do like stand jab, crouch light kick, and like jab, just because it's 4 frame, 5 frame, 4 frame, so there is like a little bit of a gap. Mai has some pretty strong medium attacks, and we're going to start off by showing her stand medium punch. It has pretty good range. I'm going to do it right here. Yeah, and it does land. This move is confirmable. It is 8 frames, it's +2 on hit, and what's great as well is that if they block it, it is -3. So not only are you safe, you also have some bit of a pushback as well, so you can really bully with this attack. I say it's hit confirmable, but it might be one of those moves that it's easier to hit confirm once you see your opponent do an action. So say for instance if I do Ryu and go to record and deck stand fierce, go to replay. If you see your opponent doing something and you do stand medium punch, that is going to be a lot easier to hit confirm as opposed to doing a straight hit of him just standing there. It's going to be a little bit harder to do confirms like that, but it's definitely still is possible. Now I will say that her stand medium punch is very strong, but I feel like the way Capcom balanced it is that she does have a unique attack, in which we'll talk about a little bit more later on, that is done by doing forward medium punch. So you can't just necessarily just keep throwing this button out willy-nilly, because if you try to walk forward and do that button, sometimes you will get the overhead to come out, which can leave you very open to getting hit because that move is relatively slow, and that's never fun when you're trying to play the neutral game and you get an attack you don't mean to do. So some ways to circumvent that is that as soon as you try to go for the stand medium punch, try to, if you're playing on a stick, try to return to neutral as quick as possible. Whichever device you do, try to return to neutral very fast so you don't get an accidental overhead. Or you can as well do it by doing like back medium punch. If you do back medium punch, it'll still come out without you having to worry about the accidental overhead. Stand medium punch can definitely be a bully button as long as you're aware how to use it. I will say you do not want to whiff this button because Mai is out for a good period of time. So if you're doing this button, be sure you do it with the intentions of it landing and get comfortable with the range, so to make sure that you don't whiff it and leave yourself out in the open. But with stand medium punch, like I said, it is confirmable, and if you don't want to confirm, you can also just chip away at their drive gauge by landing that button as well as canceling it into a light fan. Mai is really good at controlling space when doing something like this. Her crouching medium punch is going to be used a lot in combos, as it comes out at 6 frames, does pretty good damage, doesn't scale too crazy or anything like a crouch medium kick. It is +5 on hit, and so what that means, so say for instance if you have them in the corner, you can do crouch medium punch, and then you can link into crouch jab into a combo, like that. But I would recommend doing crouch jab, as stand jab usually whiffs. Yeah, it pushes you outside range, so you can't get anything for stand jab, but you can do a crouch jab combo. I believe you can do it mid-screen as well. You can do it mid-screen, but it like barely touches them. Also do want to say that her crouch medium punch is -3, so it is safe. So you can throw this move out without it being too much of a risk. The range is a little bit sus, so try not to get too used to doing it in neutral, because just the lack of range just leaves you open for whiff punishment. If you try to get close enough to do it, then you're also going to be walking closer to your opponent's button, so say like you have to look out for their fast attack, so you could potentially get beat out of it despite being a 6-frame attack. I love my stand medium kick. Like, I love a good stand medium kick. It's just a pesky button. Hers comes out in 9 frames. I'm a Cammy player. Cammy's comes out in 8 frames. I believe M-Bice's is 9 frames as well, if I'm not mistaken. but it's a good, just kind of like a keep out tool or just like a bully attack. You can't cancel it or anything, but it's pretty good, man, just to stop your opponent in their tracks. Because if you're throwing out buns like this, you know, they're gonna start getting impatient. Same thing with this as well. They might try to force an approach, whether it be a jump or a drive rush, and that's where you're able to check the drive rush or be able to react to their jumps with her DP. So you definitely want to whittle away at their mental gauge by definitely bullying with an attack like this. And it does good drive gauge chip. It is -4 on block, so you can't do it point blank. So I'm gonna set Ryu to stand jab. If I do it point blank like this, he can't get a punish counter. But if you just space it, even just like decently, you can do it like right here and he can't punish you for it. On hit, her stand medium kick is 5 frames. And then on counter hit, that would make it a 7-frame attack. So you can do something like that. Pretty cool. I would recommend definitely looking out for a crouch medium kick. If you land a counter hit off stand medium kick, I would say try to go into crouch medium kick, as it's just more consistent range wise. Because yeah, I tried to do it right there, crouch medium punch whiffed, and you definitely don't want to put yourself in harm's way, especially in a game like Street Fighter 6. So if you see the counter hit, I highly recommend try to convert by going into crouch medium kick to then do the special move that does take them very, very far. Her crouching medium kick, on the other hand, is special cancelable. What that means, you're able to do the Street Fighter 6 thing of crouch medium kick into drive rush, everyone's favorite mechanic. Her crouch medium kick is very privileged in the sense that it comes out at 7 frames as opposed to 8. So like Chun-Li has a 7-frame crouch medium kick. Ken has a 7-frame crouch medium kick. Other characters, I'm sure there's probably a couple others have 7 frames, but a lot of characters are 8 frames. Ryu's, I can set his to record, and his will come out at 8 frames. So Mai is privileged in the sense that she has a 7-frame, and it does have good range on it. It does look deceiving sometimes. It looks like it should go further, or it looks pretty stubby, but it actually does have pretty good range for a crouch medium kick, as I tested this with some other characters, and she does share the range of, say, a character like Cammy. So I've set like right here. I'm gonna go to Ryu and hit record. Yeah, his doesn't hit either. So they have basically the same range. Be careful on how to use crouch medium kick, because much like other characters in this game, if you do crouch medium kick too close to your opponent, you are actually -6 here. So they can punish you if you do it too close. So you definitely have to space this out, and I would recommend you're still able to cancel into attack, so you can do like a light fan, kind of like how you would do a stand medium punch. You can do her Rienbu like this, and then you can also do like the drive rush. So just try not to do it too close, otherwise you're gonna get punished for it. I'm gonna show you a quick scenario of a time to use that strat, the crouch medium kick, into Rienbu. I'm gonna set Ryu to do throw loops. You can react to your opponent walking backwards and then check them with crouch medium kick. Don't have to do drive rush to spend the 3 bars. Instead, I can just do the Rienbu and to level 3. Now I got my drive gauge back, and I did some damage to Ryu, and then also I am out of the corner. Stand Fierce is a move that has pretty good range on it. It comes out at 9 frames, it's +1 on hit, and it is special cancelable as well, so definitely feel free to special cancel into whichever special move you like. It is hit confirmable, so you can react to your opponent getting hit and go into an attack like that, which leads to a really good corner carry. And it does have slightly more range to stand medium punch, so I'll walk over a little bit more. So as you see, stand medium punch is whiffing, but stand fierce would hit. But yeah, it is 1 frame slower than stand medium punch. But this move is really good, and if you're close enough, it actually is a true block string if you go into fans. So here on block, stand fierce is -3, so even if you're super close and just do that move by itself, you can't get punished for it, so that's really good. But do know that if you are outside range and whiff it, you are prone to whiff punishment, so definitely be sure to hit this button with confidence with the intention for it landing on your opponent. So I'm gonna set it to Ryu doing an EXDP to show you guys that stand fierce into light projectile is a true block string. Let's do like right here. Yeah, you know, like right here, still a true block string. That's still a true block string. Maybe like at the very tip. Yeah, at the very tip, it's It's not a true block string. Here I'm going to show you guys that it is quite confirmable if you're ready. I'm going to set the opponent to random block, and I'm going to show you guys that I'll be able to hit confirm it if Ryu gets hit. Just like that. Up next is Mai's Crouching Fierce, which is a 2-hitting fan dance attack. It comes out in 10 frames and is +4 on a hit, meaning that you're able to combo with a, say, crouch jab into a special. And then this move is also -3 on block. So I personally don't use this move as much, but I wouldn't mind incorporating it into my game plan just because it would be a good way to throw off your opponent if they get used to your timings or if you get used to their timings, especially if they're defensive timing. So if you go for like stand fierce live, you go for like jab stuff, if you walk up and maybe say do a move like this, you can catch them off guard trying to hit a button or trying to like attack or what have you, and if they block it, you are -3, so you're safe. If you do land a hit, you know, it's +4, and if it's a counter hit, if they try to hit something, you are +6, meaning that you can go into crouch medium punch. Me personally, I am a huge fan of big, ignorant standing roundhouse attacks, and Mai does have one. Granted, it is a little bit on the slower side. I'm not too sure if anyone's watched me play Cammy, but I love Cammy's stand roundhouse, but hers comes out, I believe, on the 11th frame, but mine's is 14, so it is a little bit slower, but it still does the work just fine. It does a really good grip of drive gauge on block, so if I send them to block, they block it, they're taking chunks. You know, if they get hit by 2, they take more than 1 bar of drive gauge. So this is definitely a good neutral button to throw out there. And it does prompt a combo starter off of a punish counter. So if I set the punish counter and then have them get hit, you can do something like that. So that'd be good, say for instance, if like an opponent whips a big attack, I'm gonna set Ryu to do stand fierce. So that could be a really good whip punish for attacks that are slow on recovery, just to get the punish counter for big damage and then lead them to the corner. On regular hit, this is +3, and then on block, this move is -3, so feel free to abuse it because they can't punish you even if you do it super close. But I will say, take into consideration that this is drive impactable, so if you get a little too comfortable using it and not necessarily using your noggin behind it, you are prone to drive impact. So I would say definitely use this button quite often in neutral just to make them respect it, and then see how they react to that move. If they start, you know, doing drive impact and whatnot, you can start baiting them with, say, like a stand medium punch, and then reacting to them doing a drive impact, and then doing a cancel the drive impact to counter drive impact. My sweep comes out at 9 frames. It's just a standard sweep. There's nothing much to write home about. And then on block, I believe it's -11. Yeah, -11. So it's just basically your typical Street Fighter sweep. Nothing too crazy about it. We're going to be looking at Mai's jumping attacks, in which this is going to be her jump light punch. This is going to be her jump medium punch, which jump medium punch is going to be really good as far as like an air-to-air approach. You can convert something like that. Level 2. So jump, that's going to be really good as far as like a combo, like ender, as well as just an anti-air. Then we have her jump heavy punch, just like a typical jump in. Her jump light kick, it actually crosses up. Not just that, she actually has 2 cross up jump attacks, and she can also do jump medium kick as well. So you can do jump light kick, or she can do jump medium punch. Then this would be her jump heavy kick. So if you want to go for big damage, say for instance you jump over a fireball, or you jump and you see that your opponent whiffs something, you definitely want to do a jump in with your heavy buttons to go into a damaging combo. And then as far as cross up goes, like I said, let's do jump over light kick or jump over medium punch, or medium kick, sorry. Moving on to unique attacks, Mai has a couple, and we'll start with her overhead. She has an overhead, and having an overhead in Street Fighter 6 is a really privileged thing to have. It's great for closing out rounds, so say for instance if your opponent has 5% life left, or less. You can hit him with the cheeky overhead because usually people tend to crouch block in Street Fighter games, but at the same time, just having the threat of an overhead does a lot of mental to your opponent without them even noticing it, because they're going to be possibly more prone to stand blocking, and so they're able to get hit by like crouching medium kick more, or like crouching light kick, as their ankles will be a little bit more exposed just because the threat of the overhead. The overhead, you're also able to combo off of it when you do a drive rush. So if you do a drive rush overhead, it is +6, meaning that you can get a crouch medium punch combo. So that was really good. And then, you know, typical Street Fighter 6 stuff, if they block the overhead drive rush, you're actually plus on block. You're +1. And so if you do like a stand jab or like a crouch jab, it will jail. Well, it will be your turn. If they try to mash, they would get counter hit. So it's still your turn. And yeah, the overhead, it's really good. And so we'll talk a little bit more about the Charizard fans, but just know you're going to be using the overhead a lot, as well as drive rush and lows to keep your opponent guessing. My second unique attack will be her back roundhouse, also known as her back heavy kick. This move is very crucial to implement into your gameplay. It forces stand. So a forces stand is +3 on hit, and then it is -1 on block. So what I mean by a forces stand is that, say for instance, Ryu is crouching. You know, if you do an attack in this game, like I'll do stand medium punch, Ryu's still crouching. If I do stand fierce, Ryu's still crouching. If I do back roundhouse, back heavy kick, it forces Ryu to stand up. So we're going to talk a little bit about her special move, actually, because this is where back heavy kick comes into play greatly, is that if she does a core circle back fierce, it would be this move right here. It actually whiffs on crouching opponents. So that is something that maybe not a lot of people that are learning Mai know. Trust me, I was streaming and people were asking me why am I not going for like the core circle back heavy, and I'm like, oh, because the opponent is in crouch position. And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work if they're crouching. They're like, oh, I didn't know that. It's something that can definitely go under the radar for some people, because it hits just fine if you have a dummy stand to have the dummy in the stand position. But if they are crouching, it will actually whiff. And this move is really good because it does a pop-up and you're able to combo afterwards like that. So if you do a drive rush combo, like say, like this wouldn't work on a crouching opponent. It will whiff. So to circumvent that, that's where the back heavy kick comes into play. So right there, force stand, and that led to Ryu getting hit by this move right here. So all the moves I've showcased so far, I'm not too sure if you noticed a theme here, but Mai has no plus frame buttons on her normals. If we go to block all, yeah, like that's negative, that's negative, that's negative, that's negative, this is negative, that's -1. Yeah, she doesn't have any like traditional plus frames out of her strikes. So in a way, this move can be used as a plus button on meaty. And on meaty, what that means is that when you knock your opponent down, if you do it on their frames as they're getting up and they land into your attack, you get additional frames. So I'm going to show you guys how we can turn this -1 into plus. So we're going to set Ryu to block after first hit. So we'll do like +3. I usually try to manually time my meaties, but that is a way to get plus frames, more specifically in the corner. And if you're +3, you can do something like a crouch medium punch, meaning that if your opponent does any attack, they would get counter hit. It's pretty sick. I'll show you guys what y'all can do with it. We'll do block after first hit, and then I'm gonna set the dummy to do, we'll do a crouchy light punch when he blocks. So say for instance, if you mess up the meaty, you can get it to +2, and there is a way for it to trade if you're not confident on the timing. So even if you mess up the timing a little bit, you will lose maybe like a frame if you get used to doing the timings of it, which would lead to a trade. But even if it does trade, you can still hit a trade combo with a crouch medium kick, in which I'll try to demonstrate right here. That actually worked. So that was a trade combo right there. I purposely delayed it to like lose a little bit of the plus frames, and you saw that they both collided and I had priority. I was able to get my button out, in which I got crouch medium kick and it comboed. That's a really good way to apply pressure. If they show you that they respect it and they're just gonna down back and like not take any bait or whatever, you just walk up and start grabbing them. And then, so there's layers to that. There's so many layers to that. After you do this and you try to walk up the grab, instead you just walk backwards. Maybe they'll go for the grab and then you can shimmy them. So there's like layers to that. So I would definitely highly recommend to practice on incorporating back heavy kick into your gameplay. Mai actually has a target combo out of that attack as well. So if she does back roundhouse into another roundhouse, it will lead into a 3 hitting combo target combo. So this move doesn't combo mid-screen, and it's not special cancelable either. Yeah, so you can't cancel anything into it. But in the corner, you can actually get some follow-ups as your opponent is falling down. You can do light DP, you can do EX DP, and you can also do level 1. But just do know that if you do this on block, they will punish you for it, because it is quite punishable. It's -11. You don't get the third hit to come out, and then yeah, she'll be prone to a punish. Lastly, as far as Mai's unique attacks goes, we're going to be talking about a move that we discussed a little bit earlier on in this video, which being her stand light kick. If you mash it, actually, if you do it 3 times, you can actually do a target combo where she does this little backflip, kind of like Kimberly when she runs at you and doesn't do a follow-up. She can do a target combo here. She can even special cancel too into a dive bomb. And then on block, this move is -10, but it is very tricky to punish, because Mai just goes super far away. -10, this is going to be really difficult to punish her. There are some characters that are able to do, like, say, super reversals to catch her, but it's also good to throw out there to see how your opponent reacts. Moving on to her throws, Mai has 3 different throws actually. So she has this forward throw, tosses them all the way over there, and then she has her backward throw being this. And then her third throw is something I'm personally a really big fan of, because the character I play, Cammy, has this throw as well, is an air throw. So if you're playing Mai, you can try bullying them in the corner with like attacks like this, like fan stuff, and then get them to really start to feel the pressure that would get them to start jumping. Sure, you can try to uppercut them, but in a way you can also, if you're not good with uppercuts, you can try to do an air throw by reacting to it to keep them in the corner. It's really good as well, just to just shut down your opponent's options. Also, Mai has everybody's favorite feature in Street Fighter 6 being throw loops. So I have Ryu doing wake up crouch jab to show you guys that is a true throw loop. Mai's throw loop is kind of like Juri's in a sense that she can't walk up to get the throw loop, she has to dash up. So if I try to walk up like this, you know, I won't be able to grab Ryu. It's a little bit tricky to do, I'm not gonna lie. It took me a while to get used to Mai's throw, because it's kind of a delay and then you have to dash. So you have to wait a bit and then you get the dash, and then boom, just like that, you get the counter hit, and so you can go for something like that. Now that we got her regular attacks out the way, it is time to move on to her special attacks. The most notorious one would be her fan toss. Depending on what level you do, light, medium, or heavy will decide how fast the fan goes. So this is the light fan, this is the medium fan, this is the heavy fan. And then she can charge it as well, which makes Mai so unique, and which it causes a pop-up on the fan to hit 2 times on the character. So this means that Mai's regular fan will lose to Ryu's fireball, or any fireball in the game for that matter. Doing charge up fans to get the approach going would be your best bet, because it does counter, it doesn't counter, but it does collide with regular fireball. So I'll show you guys right here. So the EX fireball would be a regular fireball, but it will lose to Ryu doing an EX fireball or any other character doing an EX fireball. Even though her fans do sound underwhelming, we cannot gloss over the fact that her charge fan is super deadly. So that is the light one. You can do like a medium one at this range right here, and you can force your opponent to guess if they block it. As the fan is coming down, I went for a crouch medium kick, potentially so he can get hit. That was a true low, and so we have to block it low. If I did like a charge fan right here, I can go up, do an overhead. Or if I go for an overhead. Using Mai's charge fan can be pretty dynamic. You have to watch out for how your opponent retaliates whenever you do a charge fan. So say for instance, if they go for parry, you can start grabbing them. They might try to EXDP. One thing you definitely have to keep a close eye on is charging your fan with Mai, because it is very seeable, and if your opponent is skilled, they can react to Mai charging her fan and then jump over and get a punish off of her. You can see her quite confidently actually just charge up her fan. So I'm gonna do like that. That was pretty delayed too, and I still got the punish counter. There's a lot of recovery on that charge fan. Think twice before doing it. Of course, doing charge fan is good, and I recommend just doing it regardless. You have to let your opponent show you that they know how to deal with charge fan. If they don't know how to deal with it, they don't jump in on reaction, then definitely go willy-nilly, like spam that stuff. But if they show you that they can react depending on the range, definitely keep that in mind. If you get comfortable doing this and they start jumping, maybe you just like hit some buttons and kind of walk around in neutral, because they can be more prone to jumping, that they're going to start seeing something out of Mai and try to react and then try to jump, and then that's where you're able to hit them with your DP. She doesn't have DP, so her having a DP in this game is actually really good, and it definitely does complement her fan gameplay, as people are going to be more prone to jumping in on her. So definitely be sure to have your anti-airs on point when it comes to Mai. You can do DP, you can also do back heavy kick if you're comfortable with doing that, or you can do the air grab. You can even do something like jump medium punch. But definitely a DP is a really good option to stop your opponents from jumping on you whenever they see you like to do fans. Speaking of DP, Mai's DP, she has a light one, the medium one, the heavy one. They go a little bit further with the heavier it is. Pretty straightforward, gets the job done for anti-airing. And then her EXDP does more damage, and it's actually a invisible reversal. Having EXDP is really good to get them off of you. Not just that, like I said about having an overhead early on, just the threat of having the overhead can send a lot of messages to your opponent. So even just Mai having an EXDP and you don't even do an EXDP, it gets your opponent to be hesitant of continuing their pressure, which allows you to do stuff like crouch medium kick into like that, or drive rush into that, and what have you. Onto a Rienbu. This is a move you can use in the neutral, as it's kind of just like an extension in a way. It has good range on it, and then the light one can beat projectile, so you can use it just in case if you have a read on them doing a projectile, something like that. This is what the medium version looks like. It's kind of like this move right here, but it doesn't give you that much corner carry. But you're able to do dash up until like a throw or just pressure. It just doesn't really get you that much corner carry. And the good thing about this as well is that it doesn't whiff on crouching attacks, or crouching opponents, excuse me. So you don't have to worry about them, you know, crouching or standing, you just do it. And then her heavy one, which is the one I talked about a little bit earlier on in this video, it does whiff on crouching opponents. So your opponent has to be standing, but like I said, you can do that forward stand back roundhouse to get the fears to come out. Both of the Rienbus are punishable on block. I discussed the light one a little bit earlier on, but we'll do, and it is -4, so you definitely want to space this out. If you space this out just well, it is safe. The medium one is definitely punishable at -6. So definitely be cautious when doing these attacks on block, because you could potentially be up for punishment. Mai's EX Renbu is very similar to her heavy version, where it does a pop-up, except that it adds additional damage, so that is 800 off of the heavy, and the EX version starts at 1000 and you're able to go into a follow-up, much like the heavy version. What's neat about this move is that unlike the heavy version, it will actually hit on an opponent whether they're standing or ducking. And then on block, this is punishable, so you definitely want to only do this in combos. It is -12, so you would be punished even more so than say doing like her medium one, which was -6, or the heavy one, which was -6 as well on block. One of my favorite moves with Mai is her quarter circle forward kick, and then switch this lunging attack where she hits you with her elbow, and it does a lot of corner carry. So this is her doing it with a light, this is a medium, and this would be a heavy. You're going to want to end a lot of your combos with this ender just because of the corner carry. Sure, you might get less damage at times as opposed to maybe ending with like a medium Renbu, but the corner carry is phenomenal. So you're just able to do it off of light, so you can do light attacks into a light core circle forward kick like that. And you're +9 after dashing up as well, so you're able to go for a couple of neat things. You can go for some meaty options as well. You can go for something like this. I will say the moves are punishable on block, so you definitely don't really want to use it in the neutral, but you definitely do want to incorporate that within your combos. The EX version of this attack actually launches the opponent in the air, in which Mai is able to do a follow-up. So doing something like this, you're able to actually follow up in the sky. So you can do something like this. And this is going to be comboed off of lights as well. So usually with lights, you're only able to combo like the light one. You can't do into the medium. But with the EX1, you're able to do this and get a lot of corner carry. And that leaves you right on top of him too. So you're able to go for like a shimmy attempt if you want to go for like a throw, or if you just want to go for strikes. The last special that Mai has is her dive bomb, in which is a move that she jumps into the air and she changes her trajectory to lead with a follow-up attack. It looks like this. It is pretty punishable on block, so it doesn't operate in the same sense as Cammy, which is able to apply pressure with her dive kicks. So I would say that move isn't that strong, which is -3, and there's no way to get this move to be plus. I tried everything to make this move plus, and you just can't make it plus. Unless maybe like some type of meaty situation, but like in the neutral, at best, at very best, I believe is -1. Mai's dive bomb is pretty situational, but she can definitely catch people off guard. Say for instance, if you're playing against someone that uses normals as an anti-air and doesn't really do like a DP, or maybe the character doesn't have a DP, but we'll use Manon as an example. Manon's anti-air that's really good is a crouch fierce, as it smacks the opponent down. It's a really good anti-air. But if you're playing against a character like Mai, or if you're using Mai, you go for the dive bomb against these characters. You can catch them off guard by doing a regular jump in, and then try doing like a jump in with a dive bomb to mix up the timing. So I'll show you what that looks like actually. So it looks like she's gonna jump and hit me, and it baits Manon or whichever character where they're doing a normal anti-air to try to punish Mai for jumping, but instead they get hit by the dive bomb. So yeah, as you can see, it is a good way to mix it up. I wouldn't really rely on that being your like constant way to approach, but it is good to have some tricks up your sleeve. So I will say that move can be pretty good if you're playing against a character, or if you're playing against an opponent that relies on normal attacks as an anti-air. Moving on to her supers, she has the standard Street Fighter 6 supers, which will be level 1, level 2, level 3, and critical art when you are 25% health and lower. We'll start with her level 3 and then go backwards, because her level 1 is what makes her truly unique as a character, because no other person has this mechanic when she activates her level 1. Her level 3, there's 2 different forms of her level 3, not counting her critical art, in which there is the core circle back punch. They're both core circle back punches, but this one where the full animation connects, it goes into the cinematic. But there is another version of this if you don't hit it clean. So if you're a little bit further away, she actually doesn't go into the full cutscene. So she lands something like that. So that's something to take in consideration whenever you're like say whiff punishing an opponent. I don't think this one's gonna connect, so I'll do that. But she's able to actually get a DP follow-up after she does the level 3 with no cinematic. So that's 5240 with that. So you actually get more damage if the full super doesn't connect, as it allows the follow up. It's very interesting. Mine's level 2 is alright. I'm not necessarily a fan of it. This is what her level 2 looks like. She basically goes full screen. What's nice about it is that she can do it in the air as well. So you can do something like, yeah, 3520, or if you want to do something like, you can do this as well. 4160. One thing about this super is that whenever they announced mine, they were displaying her and talking about her moves. They did mention that this super does have the ability to go through projectiles, but I will say it is very weak when it comes to going through projectiles. If you try to rack like that, you'll get hit out. So this only has like invincibility startup, I think, like within the startup animation of Mai doing the level 2. If you want to go through fireballs, you got to be pretty freaking close and react in time to do it, because if you're right outside range, you just can't do it. Last but not least is probably her most, I don't want to say important super. The super does mean a lot for sure, but it is definitely something that's a little bit more complicated than like level 2 and level 3. So her level 1 super is 2 quarter circle forward punch and does this. That would be like a good wake up option. It's also a good anti-air too. Like that. But as you can see, the symbol next to the drive gauge for Mai, she has 5 of this little flame looking icon, and what that does is that whenever Mai does a level 1 super, whether it be hit, whether it be on whiff or on block, she will get these 5 flame stocks. And what that does is that it enhances all of her special moves. Say I'll do a fan toss, her fan is now on fire and it does like a multi-hitting attack. What's good about powering up your fans is that earlier I discussed that Mai's fans lose to strikes, it loses to traditional projectiles. When Mai has this buff activated with her level 1, if she does a regular fan toss with the fire equipped to it, it will actually beat out regular fireballs. If Mai were to do an EX fireball, it would actually cancel out with reuse EX fireball, which wouldn't be possible if Mai were to do an EX fan toss without the stock activated. Now we'll look at a move like Rienbu, which is this move right here. This move gets buffed in the sense that it actually knocks the opponent down. What's also good about this move when buffed is that it's more advantage on block than it would if it was a regular hit. It's actually -2. Earlier we saw that that move is -4. If you have the buff equipped, you can actually do it pretty close and it'll be safe, as it'll only be -2, as the fastest standard strike in the game would be a 4-framer. What this means as well is that when your opponent is burnt out, it becomes a really good block string. So if you were to do something like this, she's actually +2 on block. So when she's +2 on the block by doing this, it can actually jail into like crouch medium punch. If your opponent were to throw out, say, like a 4-frame attack, they would trade, because this move comes out at 6 frames, so with the +2 it would actually bring it to a 4-frame attack, and you know, the other opponent, if they're matching crouch jab and whatnot, it's going to be 4 frames, and so it'll actually trade, and I'll show you what that looks like. Pretty neat actually. You do not carry the level 1 over to other rounds, so if you were to activate level 1 at the end of a round to, say, finish off your opponent, it does not carry over to the next round. Not only that, you can't choose if you want to do a regular special move or if you want to do your enhanced special move. So even if you're doing a combo, say for instance you're just doing a BNB, like I just wanted to do a combo, but me just wanting to do a combo, I had to lose 2 stocks of Mai's flame meter, even though that combo I just did could have been done if she didn't have the stocks equipped. The rest of her special attacks with the flame stock equipped, say for instance the quarter circle forward kick, it adds more damage to her attack. I did the heavy version right there, it is 1100 damage. Her dive bomb, the properties change, it does more damage right there as well, but what also makes this better is the fact that it does changes the properties on block. So we saw earlier that when we did the dive bomb without the stocks equipped, there was no way to make it plus. It was, we were getting like -1, But if we were to do, say for instance right here, so that was neutral, and I didn't even really try to go for plus. So if I do it really high, it's like -4. Yeah, it's -4 if you do it really high, so it's punchable. But just know that if we were to do that without the stock equipped, it was like -7. But do note that, as I discussed earlier with the dive bomb, that it is definitely seeable because Mai doesn't immediately go into the dive bomb. She kind of hesitates and then goes into a dive bomb. So it's relatively easier for opponents to react to it and DP it as opposed to a character like Cammy, just because. So she's able to get a light DP if she were to hit or something like that, as opposed to if she didn't have it equipped. Oh no, she can do that as well. Hey Bruno, if you can hear me, hey, just leave that part out, G. Leave that dive bomb follow-up out, please. Thank you. We still have some more Mai stuff to talk about regarding her combos and her strategies, but I do want to say if you made it this deep into the video, thank you so very much, as this is my very first guide I've ever made, and I do look forward to making more in the future, so I hope I was able to be of some help. I am a competitive fighting game player for over 15 years, traveling the nation, competing in some of the biggest tournaments, playing against some of the best players in the world. If you're looking into becoming better at Street Fighter 6, pushing your competitive game, I do offer coaching services. Over the years, I've learned what to do and what not to do in regards to fighting games, as well as competing in tournaments. If this is something that interests you, please head over to metafy.gg/@Cusco to book a session with me, as well as use the coupon code CuscoYouTube to get 20% off your next session with me. I look forward to seeing you guys over there, and I look forward to helping you guys achieve your goals in Street Fighter 6. I'll have the link below in the description, and without further ado, let's hop back into the Mai guide. Now we get to talk about the fun stuff, being Mai's combos. I'm gonna divide this up between meterless combos, EX combos, drive rush combos, level 1, level 2, level 3 fan combos. We'll start with lights, meterless lights, because you are gonna be doing this conversion a lot when you get straight hits off of lights. So essentially, Mai's able to get like 3 lights into a special, in which I highly recommend going for a Corsica forward light kick. This is interchangeable, so you can do something like off of crouching, you can do, or you can do standing. And then as you see, that does really good corner carry. Another combo you can do is off of lights. So that does combo. As you can see, Ryu doesn't get pushed to the corner nearly as far as her Corsica forward light kick. But you do get more damage if you go for the medium Renbu. You get, I believe it's like 100 more damage. Yeah, you get basically 100 more damage. One thing to note when going for the medium Renbu in there is that you have to do it off of stand jab. If you truly want to prioritize damage off of lights, then you are able to cancel to heavy DP, which this does do more damage than the other two that I showed at 1390, but do note that you don't get any type of Oki because you'll be too far away from Ryu. So even dashing up right here, I'm +9, but I'm pretty far away from Ryu, so I can't really necessarily walk up and grab him. We're going to be looking at Mai's medium attacks as far as combos goes. We talked about this button earlier, her stand medium punch. Really good and hit confirmable. So from there, I highly suggest you go for Corsica forward heavy kick, just because of the corner carry, and you do get rewarded in damage, but the corner carry is the real winner here. But I will say, if you do this on block, you are going to die for it. Yeah, so you have to really make sure that you're confirming this button if you've seen that your opponent whiffed or if they walked into something. Moving on to her crouching medium punch. You can actually combo into crouch jab. So this would be the combo. You'd be able to walk up to Ryu and do crouch medium punch into crouch jab into Corsica forward light kick. I believe this won't work if you do stand jab. Yeah, it'll be too far, as we discussed earlier in the guide. Definitely, if you do hit your opponent with crouch medium punch, then we go into crouching light punch into Corsica forward light kick. For Mai's crouching medium kick, she can go into heavy Corsica forward kick. This is a really good option if your opponent does whiff, just because of the range of the crouch medium kick. So that would definitely be a good combo to go for. You can expect the same combo routes if Mai were to do stand fierce, though she was doing a stand medium punch. So for stand fierce, she can go into heavy Renbu, into Corsica forward light kick like that. Mai's crouching heavy punch, where she does the 2 fan swipes, you are able to do crouching jab afterwards as it's +4. Kind of like how you're able to do that with crouch medium punch. You do the attack into crouch jab into core circle forward light kick. Here's some of Mai's jump-in combos that are able to lead to pretty good damage that's meterless. 27-20 off of that, that is a jump roundhouse, stand fierce, core circle back, heavy Rienbu into core circle forward light kick. She's also able to go into DP after this. You sacrifice the corner carry, but you do get a little bit more damage. You get about 200 more damage instead of going for the core circle forward light kick. Here's some of her combos off of a jumping cross up. So after you do cross up light kick, you're able to go into the light combos we showed earlier. With Mai's jumping medium kick, cross up, or in front, you're able to go into a heavier button. Yeah, you can go into fierce actually. You're able to do something like that. Or if you want to do the safe approach and get a bun out that's quicker, like say crouch medium punch, you can do a cross up jump medium kick into crouching medium punch to do the combo we showed earlier. When in the corner, Mai is able to combo off of her back heavy kick target combo that we discussed earlier on in the video, so you are able to get a little bit more damage meterously if you were to do this target combo in the corner. Yeah, you just have to input the medium DP pretty fast actually. Not fast, but you have to input it pretty early. I'm going to show you guys real quick some counter hit combos that are going to be pretty useful to implement to your game plan. So if you hit, like say, stand jab right there, see that counter hit pops up, that does give you time to react and do a different combo. So as we saw earlier, the stand jab and the crouch medium kick, you're able to get that off of a counter hit combo. Off of a crouch jab, you can do crouch medium punch counter hit, like so. Her stand medium punch, she does get access to her stand jab, as she'll be plus frames if the stand medium punch connects on hit. So you see her right there, it is +4, so that allows Mai to do a stand jab or a crouching jab into a special. Her crouching medium punch, she's able to do a second one like that if she knows that it does hit on counter hit. But I will say for consistency, you can do crouch medium kick because you are +7 after this. So say for instance, if I were to do this button like right here, a second one wouldn't be able to hit Ryu. I'll be too far away. So stuff like that can put you in sticky situations. So if you're not confident if it will land because you're like just outside range, like that, you can do crouch medium kick instead to be more consistent. So like that. So I'm the type of person that prefers consistency. So if I'm like barely outside range, I don't want to risk it and I just go for something that I know that would work. Off her stand heavy kick, it is +5 now instead of +3. So she can do crouch jab. Yeah, she can actually do a crouch jab into core circle forward light kick. But do remember, since it is a light jab, you can't do core circle back Rienbu. Her back heavy kick becomes +5, and so she is able to do crouch jab into core circle light kick. We're going to be looking at Mai's EX moves and how they can be implemented into her combos. So say off of her light, she's actually able to do her core circle forward kick attack enhanced to get the follow up, so she can do something like this. And so it's just the 3 lights into core circle forward double kick, and then you hit jumping medium punch while she's mid-air, and then she goes into the core circle back punch, which is her dive bomb attack. Another EX move is her EX Rienbu. What's good about her EX Rienbu is that it doesn't matter if they're crouching or standing, so it'll hit regardless, so it does really good when it comes to combos. I'm gonna do a DP, so that was 2 bars, you get 3240, as opposed to if I were to do a regular jumping without the 2 bars, it would look like this. It would be 2960. Another pretty good punish counter combo is a stand fierce into her EX charge fans. It's a little bit trickier, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. Stand fierce into charge EX fans. And to get the full animation of the fans of getting the last fan to come out, you want to do forward fierce or forward punch after throwing the fans. And then after that, you're going to do core circle back, medium punch into DP. So, man, this is a combo that like might feel a little bit awkward. I feel like you have to be pretty close to Ryu as well. You can't be too far. Yeah, so do keep into consideration that you have to be pretty close to him for this to combo. We're gonna look at some of Mai's drive rush combos, and you know the tried and true Street Fighter 6 thing, low forward drive rush. She's able to get back heavy kick to force the stand into crouching medium punch into heavy Renbu. Whichever ender you want to do, whether it be core circle forward light kick or if you want to do the heavy DP, depending if you want damage or corner carry. If you're able to do like a jump in combo into EX, core circle back EX punches, the EX Renbu, you're able to get almost just as much damage while saving a whole bar of drive gauge. I can show you some drive rush combos off of lights as well, just in case, so say for instance if your opponent has like, I don't know, like 30% life left, and then you do have the resources, you clip them with your lights. You can do something like this. Into level 3. So when she drive rush into a jab, she is +9, so she does get a standing fierce. And then if you want to do like drive rush confirm combo, so say if you want to do stand medium punch or stand fierce, you just confirm it into drive rush. You can go into back heavy kick every single time, so you don't have to worry about if your opponent is standing or crouching. Then off of raw drive rush, you can do like a raw drive rush into overhead, where she's able to combo into her crouch medium punch off of that, and so she can do something like this. Some pretty good damage for your opponent getting clipped by overhead. And then say for instance if you want to mix it up and do a drive rush into a low, you can do drive rush into crouching light kick. So from there, that is +6. You're able to do something like this. Her drive rush into crouching medium punch is pretty good too, just because of the range of it and just how fast Mai's drive rush is. Not only that, once it lands, it does grant you 9 frames of advantage, so you're able to go into stand fierce. Something like that. Now it does give you some time to see if your opponent is crouching or standing. So you can do that. You can do this. A couple of combos you can do out of drive rush. We're gonna take a look at her fan combos whenever you charge fan. So that's basically your B&B when it comes to seeing like a fan lands. I do want to say that depending on which fan you do, it does have different speeds. Not only that, it does pop up differently. These do pop up differently. The light one pops up the lowest, yeah. Pops up the lowest, the medium one pops up higher, and then the heavy one pops up the highest. So definitely take that into consideration. I like doing a charged medium punch. Kind of just has that sweet spot as far as timing goes. You can also do overhead, and it'll still combo. Regarding her level 1 super, it's pretty tricky to combo into it. The range is pretty bad horizontally. It's good vertically, so it can be used as an anti-air, but when it comes to horizontal range, it's just not that great. It's like that doesn't connect. So you're able to do like, say like a jump in combo. You can do like jump in roundhouse into jump in fierce into the super. To get your stocks going, you can do core circle back Renbu. She is able to go into her level 1 meteorously after a pop-up when she's in the corner. So she can do heavy core circle back, heavy Renbu. She is able to get the level 1 combo close to the corner here. If she was mid-screen, this wouldn't work out because they get pushed away. Well, if you're doing like a drive rush combo, you can go into like level 1, something like this. I feel like if you want to go for level 1 combos, it is pretty good for like jump ins, or like I said, if you're in the corner. But I wouldn't really recommend doing like drive rush combos into it, because it does take up a lot of your drive gauge and you don't really get much damage. But if you truly think that, you know, say like the fire fans will turn the tides, by all means go for it. Do keep in consideration that it's pretty tricky to get the level 1 combos going, just because the range is so poor. Moving on to our level 2 combos, I would say this is probably the easiest one to get out, just because it goes really far. You can do it off of a heavy Renbu, so you can do something like this into level 2. So that was some pretty good damage without using any type of drive gauge. I believe she can do this off lights. Yeah, she can do it off lights. And this super is also pretty good too as like a whiff punisher, just because it goes really far. This move can also be done in the air, so you are able to do something like... You can do something like that. You can even do EX Dive Bomb as well, for a little bit more damage. Using your level 3 in combos is good to note that you can't do a DP into level 3. It just doesn't work like that. So a lot of times you might be canceling your level 3 after this attack right here. So you can do a combo like this. Which I'm sure will probably do a little bit less damage, but you do save some drive gauge on your end. But just like that, Mai actually has basically full drive gauge after doing that. That primarily wraps up Mai's like basic combos, BNBs, just kind of like essential combos to do. Granted, you know, I'm sure she has like a handful of other combos as well, but those are some practical combos that can be used for everyday situations. We're going to actually do some strategy with Mai. This would be like the last part of the guide, in which kind of how should you be playing Mai, like what is Mai capable of doing when she comes to playing a set with people. So Mai is definitely a type of character that excels in a range like this, or like full screen. With Mai, you definitely want to bully with your really good pokes of Stand Fierce, Stand Medium Punch. I'll tell you the god normals of Mai. The god normals are Stand Fierce, Stand Medium Punch, Stand Medium Kick, and Stand Roundhouse. Those buttons are super good in the neutral of just keeping your opponents at bay and just making them respect you. So with say Stand Medium Punch and Stand Fierce, you are able to cancel into fans. So you can chip away at their drive gauge by doing stuff like this. Do keep in mind though that if you get comfortable doing like a Stand Medium Punch at the fans, you can be prone to your opponent drive impacting. So you don't want to be left open, you know, doing the recovery frames of throwing a fan, or like going to like a special and get drive impacted. So it is good to check your opponent just in case if they've shown to you that they like using drive impact. Just to do like Stand Medium Punch and don't even have to cancel it to anything. You can Stand Fierce and not have to cancel anything, because both those attack are safe regardless of range. You can be point blank and you're gonna be safe. Her fans are actually phenomenal. It does control the space quite well, even more so with characters that don't even have fireballs. So kind of use this as your extension of like a poke. I sure we use these pokes when we're closer in range, but you can't just use this fan as a poke. Charging Mai's fans is something that you'll be doing a lot, but do take into consideration that there is a lot of startup time for getting her fan out, as well as her tossing her fan. So if you're in range and you're playing against a more experienced opponent, they can react to you charging your fan and jump over and punish you. So you definitely want to be on the lookout for that. It's all about sending messages in Street Fighter, because if you throw like a fan whatnot, they're going to be looking for it like the next time, and so that's going to start getting them to jump more, which you're able to DP them. But when you do throw a charge fan and it is traveling on the screen, a lot of times people are going to try to parry these fans, and so from there you can try to grab them. You can try to drive rush in and grab them like so. If they don't want to parry it, you can, you know, go for like the crouching medium kick. You can go for the overhead. Overhead. So you can definitely mix your opponent, and then say for instance you can also just and try to go for a shimmy as well. But yeah, there's definitely layers of charging fans, and you want to constantly keep mixing it up and then seeing how your opponent reacts. Even though Mai is pretty good up close, I mean, she doesn't have any traditional like plus frames or anything. So it's gonna be really hard for her to like pressure, but like I said, bullying with these attacks is like so crucial. So I'll have Ryu do, we'll have him do low forward. I can be in like right here. So you want to bully your opponent with these buttons and then also like walk back to see if they try to go for an attack in which you're able to whiff punish. Crouching medium kick is a really good whiff punish as you're able to go with the core circle forward heavy kick to get a really good corner carry. But you can also do sweep as well. I believe that has a little bit more range. But her whiff punishment game is pretty good. I'm telling y'all, like, if you guys can do stand medium punch, if y'all can just do stand medium punch, stand fierce, you know, crouch medium kick, and stand roundhouse, like, you'll get a lot of distance. Like, you don't have to be that close to them, but, you know, just in case if they do start to close to distance, definitely keep them out with buttons like that. And then you can also catch them off guard by doing a random like drive rush because her drive rush is super fast. Getting level 1s will definitely buff Mai, but I will say it's not necessarily 100% needed. She is able to do well without it. Her fans become even more deadly, so that is definitely to keep in mind if you're playing against, say, for instance, a like Fireball character. Then you can contest more with your fans. I will say try not to worry too much about the level 1 and just focus on doing her her standing attacks as well as anti-ing with DP. You can anti a button like this, like back heavy kick, but doing a DP is way more consistent and has the invincibility frames. So definitely Fireball and then be ready to anti Dragon Punch. Alright, and that's going to conclude the Mai Guide. I believe I discussed everything I wanted to talk about. Thank you guys so much if you made it to the end. Please go out and enjoy Mai. She's a ton of fun. I hope I was able to be of some help to you guys. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, definitely feel free to ask questions in the comment section, and I'll try to reply to as many as I can. And yeah, go out and have some fun. If you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll be providing more Street Fighter content, guides, as well as fighting games as a whole. Bye, y'all.